Well, I say I'm from Philadelphia, which we were. We were on the outskirts in those days, and this was the 50s. You could just wander around anywhere you wanted to go. And there were large areas that were still forested and lakes and all of that. So that was how I spent a lot of my youth, is just wandering around and exploring.
So tell me about, were there any meaningful moments that led up to your decision to include the Conservancy in your estate plan?
As I got more involved in the Land Conservancy and through volunteering and then on the board, I started to realize the importance of what the organization was doing and its mission and its values. We are in this for the long term. These conservation easements that are put out there are in perpetuity, and that's a long time. And so an organization needs support for a long time. And that's one of the main reasons why we decided to include the Conservancy in our plan given.
The organization is a legacy for the community, and then the gift that you have planned to give is also your legacy.
Yes.
That you leave to the community. Did you face any challenges in putting the Conservancy into your plan?
None. It's very simple. And my wife and I sat down, and she's very involved in some nonprofits, and I'm very involved in some nonprofits, and it was a simple process. And then it was a simple phone call to our attorney to say, hey, let's put this in our will, and here's the list, and here's what we want to do.
If you look down the road at what an ideal future would look like as a result of your contributions to the Conservancy, what is that? What do you see?
When you live in this environment out here in the Pacific Northwest, water is everything. It's just keeping that piece of the Land Conservancy as part of a solution to long-term environmental issues and lifestyle issues that we all have. I think the work that we're doing on the Coeur d'Alene River and the reclamation of that land that has been polluted by the mines that were putting tailings into the water for many years, and the work over there that is really improving the quality of the water going into the lake has major long-term positive impact. I think the second piece is that the Conservancy has grown to where our mission and the values of it say not only will we do conservation easements, but we will now work in preserving land outright. Typical example is Waikiki Springs. That's going to be there for as long as we are. Those types of things are gratifying, that you can be a small part of them.
And if someone came to you, a friend or a family member, and asked you about the process of putting together a will, putting together an estate plan, and you wanted to inspire that person to include Inland Northwest Land Conservancy in that plan, what would you tell them?
Sit down, review your missions, your priorities, those things that are important to you. Sooner or later in that process, you will come up with something that has to do with land or water or air. If you live here and you sit around and you sit on a bench and you look out along the Spokane River, that all of a sudden you start to realize that saving these types of things become important. And you can say, yes, I'm going to be part of this, and 100 years from now, what they have done and what I have helped them to do will still be here.